was just realizing that when I'm hunched over, I was like, do I have a shirt with something on it? Trying to work on my posture. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, me. Schedule x-rays. I am telling you, my God, writing stuff down. So simple, yet so powerful. Writing things down so you lose the fear of forgetting. You practice where you look to get stuff done, and you can more easily get the stuff done. I'm not saying it happens itself, but it makes it less stressful, less dramatic. So here we are. What do we got here? It's Friday. It is Friday, the 12th of, well, close enough, of September. It is a beautiful day where I am. I hope it's a beautiful day where you are. And I'm here for the next hour or so. Hey, Cheryl, nice to see you. Thank you for being the first commenter. Here's a little crown or something. Can I do a little, I wonder what I can do here. Go to, no, I can. It's so funny. All I can do is crappy things. Is like report you, remove you, which is good stuff to have. But here's some hearts, or here's some hundreds. Yay. And I just realized too, decluttering. Life coach destination decluttered.com. Okay. And then I can put that there, and then I'm pretty sure. And you know what's fun? You have a little, Cheryl, you have a little crowny thing, at least from where I can see it. So that's good. See, now I can pin my thing to the top of the, okay. There we go. I learned something new about using the comment section. So lovely. Good stuff. It's funny. I also got an email, how self-referential, that I am live here on YouTube. So yes, email. Thank you very much. I'm also going to take a quick minute and download that the TikTok live that we just did. So I can upload it, and you've got all sorts of stuff here. So let's get this party started, shall we? There we go. I got a few little dribs and drabs done, and we've got people tuning in. And again, I say, as if I haven't said it before, maybe it's the first time. Hope you're doing well. Here's a fun thing. Since it's just a few of us, I have my kind of inspiration a day calendar. I have yet to see what today's inspo is. Now that I'm about to do it kind of live on the camera, I hope it's a good one. But there goes yesterday. And today, I haven't read it, but I will read it to you, okay? So everybody in. Along with understanding how to grow from the not so savory behaviors of those around you, it's also important to understand how to get the hell away from them if they're chronically self-obsessed or violent or blaming or negative or controlling or jealous or high drama or manipulative or victimizing or whiny or pessimistic or mean to animals. That was a really long run-on sentence. What I'm taking from this inspiration from my Jensen Chero thing is learn from the people around you. Decide who you want to hang out with and feel good about that, but also know the people that you don't want to hang out with. You don't have to hang out with them, especially if they're all the unhelpful things, okay? But I choose to hang out with you guys because this is fun. This is fun. For the next hour or so, good morning, Leslie M. Nice to see you. For the next hour or so, we're going to be here on YouTube doing a live. I'll be working on my posture here. And you, what's going on with you? How can I help you today? It could be different from yesterday. It may be different from tomorrow. But what would you like some help with? What would somebody else's participation in something kind of take the load off Fanny and put the load right on me? And not necessarily, but instead of you having 100%, give me some of it, and two brains are better than one. Gina Mead, nice to see you as well. So just think about that. What we want and what we need and what would be helpful changes from day to day. So today, kind of almost in the middle of September already. Crazy that it's going to be that way. What can I help you with today? Okay. Leslie M. I love it. Thank you for participating. Looking forward to tomorrow's party. I am too. I will be sending out an email reminder to people about it, but I'm looking forward to it myself. I plan to focus on family photos. Anything you might suggest I could do to prepare? Yes. I love this. Because I too am getting back into, I was literally texting and Facebook messaging with family this morning. So a couple of things, Leslie, that might make tomorrow's party easier for you would be, first of all, I would recommend preparing the surface. What do I mean by that? Make sure you have a clean, well-lit space to sort your photos into piles. Now, these piles are going to be your categories, and your categories may start to be one thing, and they may morph into something else. I think it was around, God, was it Christmas? I don't know when it was, but at a certain point in the past year, I was at my sister's house, and she kind of had all these family photos that were all over the place. And she's like, here, sit down and let's, she had me and her mother-in-law, and we're kind of going through some of those. I feel like it would be crazy if that was Christmas, but it might have been. Regardless, getting a space spread out that you can spread out and make your piles. Also, what might help is good lighting. Okay, again, don't make a big deal of it, but create an environment that's going to be easier for you to kind of sort out, because it's going to be in that you got to spread things out to look at them, and then also to be able to see them so well lit. The other thing too might be is as you decide what photos you want, when you make that decision, yes, I want to keep these photos, flip them over and make sure you have like a pencil or something that you can write down as much information as you can, frankly, on the back of your family photos as to who they are, so that if somebody else finds them when you're dead, they're going to ask, who are these people? Also, totally prepare yourself to go through fewer of them than you expected, because you may be sitting there walking down memory lane, looking at the people. Maybe, like me, you might also need like a magnifying glass. Who is that? What's in the background there? You can't just go like zoop, 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 like on your phone and blow it up. Prepare to feel feelings. What else could you do? Anybody else here who's tuned in? Anything else you think might be helpful for Leslie when she goes through the family photos? Okay. And then be happy with what you do get done. And already today, forgive yourself for not getting as far as you hope to go, as you want to go, as you think you're going to. Be happy with whatever progress you make and enjoy the journey. Do spend the time looking at the photos and enjoying them. That's the only reason you're keeping them, is to look at them. You're not keeping them to just take up space in a drawer. So enjoy the decluttering. Maybe take a photo, enjoy even going through fewer of them, but using that opportunity to snap a photo of a photo and text it to whomever, to be like, oh my gosh, check out what I just found. Yeah, and I love it, Leslie, saying, I'll give myself a less intense activity for the last 20 minutes. And what you might do in those last 20 minutes, yes, Stacy is offering, maybe don't be afraid to toss the ones you don't like, or duplicates or almost duplicates. 100%. 100%. Yeah, so notice Wendy is also offering categories. Sort them by location, time frame, people in it. Mom's side, dad's side is a great one. Work friends. The other thing too is, Leslie, this could be really helpful too, is so that the next time you go through these photos, you don't start from ground zero. Perhaps what you do is that last chunk of time in tomorrow's declutter party, because we do the 3 20-minute chunks. One, maybe we do 4. I don't know. No, I think we do the 3. Regardless, the last one. This is what I would do, is I would get some sandwich-sized Ziploc bags, because I already have them. And I would get like a piece of paper, a index card, And after you've categorized whatever you've categorized, I would put them in a container, the bag, and I would label that container, and I would also put today's date on it so you know when you went through them. Okay? Also, keeping, as Wendy says, keeping a notebook, big surprise, next to you to write down those things. Like, ask Alice if she was just small, right? So you're going to have ideas of what to do with some of these photos. Ask somebody who this is. I was just asked by an aunt of mine if I could share the family tree because she's going to go see people in the family. And I am the resource for that. But she may know some of these people that are in photos that I don't know because she's like 8 years older than me. Okay. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps, Leslie. If any follow-up questions, pop them in the comments and you know I'm going to help. Okay. Now, LO is saying, how do I build more tolerance for clutter without feeling overwhelmed? Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. There is a difference between clutter blindness or ignoring your clutter, kind of be like walking past it, like, I don't see you, I don't see you. And clutter blindness that when you recognize it, it doesn't cause you to be overwhelmed. Okay, LO? How you do that is by the story you tell yourself in your head. Okay? So think about it. Think about right now. When you are feeling, and I love the fact that you used feeling decluttered, or excuse me, feeling overwhelmed versus being overwhelmed. Overwhelm is a feeling. So when you are overwhelmed, oftentimes, I won't be declarative and say all the time, but it's pretty damn close. Oftentimes, the feeling of overwhelm, the root cause of a feeling of overwhelm is many times it is a thought, which is just some words in your head. So think about that, LO. When you are not tolerant of your clutter and it causes you to feel overwhelmed, what phrase comes to mind when you look at your clutter and the overwhelm, you start to feel overwhelmed? Write that in the comments and then we can rewrite it so that will make you feel better. Okay? Yeah. Stacy is asking, what time is the decluttering party tomorrow? Happy to tell you. Noontime Eastern. Noontime Eastern till about 1:30 or so. Then I actually have a thing where I kind of have to hop in the car, and it would benefit me to get in the car sooner rather than later. So just to set expectations, and I'll redo this when we're in the party. But like Leslie, like sometimes we're not going to cut it off, but we're gonna wind down more quickly than we have done in previous parties because I have an obligation outside of the party that I want to make sure. Oh, I love it. Melissa says, I've been listing on eBay since the TikTok. Yay. You appreciate me? Well, I appreciate you telling me that what I'm doing is helping you to do something that you had wanted to do and now you're doing it. That's music to my ears. Music to my ears. So as I was mentioning to LO, the feeling of overwhelm. Okay, I get really uncomfortable with clutter. I'm glad you're adding more detail. I feel really uncomfortable with clutter to the point of feeling ashamed about mine and critical of others. How can I practice more tolerance and kindness around clutter? Okay, so LO, this is where I would be pulling out my notebook, self-coaching, and I'll walk you through it. I would write down what you just wrote down right now. I would write that in a book. And I would ask you, what's going to happen is you may not have the immediate answer off the top of your head, but it's in there somewhere. There's clues to the answer. And the clues may be something that has been in your head for decades. So if you get really uncomfortable with clutter, let's start with that one sentence. Where do you get the discomfort? I'm assuming the uncomfortableness is not literally like, oh, I just need to move my butt cheeks or adjust the cushion and then I feel more comfortable physically. So what is the discomfort? Notice this, and this is where I'm looking for a good notebook here. This is where this can be so helpful. to grab your notebook, and anybody who has coached with me or has just listened to, seen any of my things, I'm going to tell you to, you know it, Destination Decluttered Origami. One fold, that's all you need. Okay, LO. What I would offer to you is this. This is what I do with my one-on-one clients. So pretend you're a one-on-one client. On this column here, I would write down backseat driver. So let's do that. And I'm just going to say BSD. And then on the top of the other column, because you have two columns here, right? I would say co-pilot. And I would say, oh, even better. How about this? Backseat driver, words. Co-pilot, words. They're your thoughts, but your thoughts are words. Your thoughts are not colors. Well, maybe they are, but for what we're doing, your thoughts are words. Backseat driver, words. Co-pilot, words. Note for importance that every backseat driver word is not every. I don't want to be declarative. I don't want to be blanket statement. Most of your backseat driver words, you can identify them because there's an element of fear. So put the word fear there to remind you what you're looking for. Under co-pilot words, you've got the opposite. You've got love. Okay? Backseat driver, fear. Co-pilot, love. Okay? Now, uncomfortable. So backseat driver word. So that's kind of your headers. And under here, right now for LO, the words that I see that seem backseat drivers are uncomfortable. I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed about my clutter. And critical of others. And what I want to offer to you is there's an opposite to this. Kind of what you're aiming for. You even said what your destination is. You want to practice more tolerance and kindness, tolerance and kindness. Okay? So really how you do this, and we could go in deep here, but what I would offer is I would expand upon this so that you have more info to flip to the other side. What do I mean by that? What am I ashamed of? Like when I think I'm ashamed, what do I say to myself? I'm ashamed. I feel shame. I feel shame. Shame is something that it's like you're embarrassed by something. You're trying to hide something because you feel unworthy, wrong, whatever. How would you rather feel? And if you're critical of others, you're probably critical of yourself. So be less critical of yourself. How can you do that? Don't criticize. So what's a criticizing word phrase you say to yourself? And write that down and then create a substitute. The opposite. So what's a critical statement you make to yourself? I've always been cluttered and I can never change. Feels crappy. Yes, I've always been cluttered, but I can change is a lovely substitute. So noticing the criticism, noticing the oftentimes unasked for, unbidden thoughts, again, words in your head that come up automatically that if you had to label them fear or backseat driver or co-pilot, they're coming from the backseat. And they make you feel crappy. That's how you know that they're there. Notice them, stop them, interrupt them. They were going to just talk to you like they have been for a while and you've let them do that. No, you stop them right there. And then not just stopping and then saying, okay, now what? You create another sentence based on what they're saying and you flip it on its backside and you say, no, I'm not going to think that anymore. I'm going to think this. And it's practice. But excuse me, I'm going to cough. The really cool thing about this is you can get so much more precise and effective with the words that you use when you tune into the exact voice that you hear in your head and the exact words they're using. Then you can be more precise about diffusing, dismantling, taking the bomb, the pain out of that one and using another more accurate word. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So you have a thought. And again, I'd be writing all this stuff down. I love that you're writing it in the comments. Please also write it down so that when this TikTok live is over, that, excuse me, YouTube live, that you'll have some evidence of these thoughts that trip you up. I think people who are neater are more put together than I am. So you are saying to yourself in a certain way, neat equals put together, ergo, therefore, if I'm not neat, I am not put together. So notice you have the fear of not being worthy, not being as put together as other people. You're judging yourself, comparing yourself. Okay? And stop it, disrupt it, interrupt it, shake it off, and think something else. Disrupt that pattern. Like it's like when you're stuck in a rut, how can you get out of it? And your tire always wants to go back into it. So sometimes you need to really get your tire out of that rut until there's no rut there anymore. Okay. Okay. I think finding tolerance would help finding peace. Yes. Giving yourself grace. Giving yourself grace. And you know what's really going to help you with that, LO, is going to be working on your clutter. Because here's the thing that works for me. I have a plan for this and I'm working the plan. I have a plan for this and I am working on it. It's not someday in the future, but I am working on it. I may not be done. It may be still there, but there's 1% less today than there was yesterday. There's 0.5% less today than there was the day before. There's 20% less than there was a month ago. Taking action is going to be clutch so that you're not lying to yourself. And if you have a plan that you're not working, it means your plan needs adjusting. Okay. Now, Wendy is offering, I can only speak for myself, as can all of us. So I love that. In my journey with decluttering, Wendy says, I try to remind myself. So notice when you remind yourself of something, it is a phrase in your head. And so she's trying to remind herself to say this. Other people need to travel their own path for it. I am not always successful. I am a work in progress. So notice she has substituted something unhealthy in the recipe of the words in her head for something that are words in her head that feel better. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Speaking of helping, Laura Voorhees did it. She took her headache medicine, slept off the headache, and went to the consignment shop to donate small stuff to the free box and donated more valuable things to the store. Here, I know you can't hear. High five. Good for you. Good for you for taking care of your physical self. Good for you for taking the medications and taking a nap. Notice that when you took care of your physical body, you felt better. And then it was easier for you to go to the consignment store and donate plus another guy. Okay. There we go. Leslie's offering too, or excuse me, Wendy is. Pardon me. I got tongue tied. Did you ever watch Friends? The neat freak Monica, later in the series, they found out she had a clutter closet. Yeah. Just because other people look good on the surface, you have no idea what's going on beneath the surface of anybody. And oftentimes, you guys, you don't even know what's going on under your surface. Or you kind of do, but then you get afraid to wade in and you just back out and you say, Barbara, I can't do that. I don't have time. I'm not going to write these things down. I'll remember this. I'm not going to go in and find out that I'm really mean to myself and I tell myself crappy things. I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid to feel bad. I'm afraid to. So think about it. You're similar to a lot of people. Yeah. Now, here's a fun thing. Melissa Moore. I love this because that's similar to me. I love to collect vintage cookbooks, but I never cook. If you come to my kitchen, you would think I am a bakery. Collecting something and doing whatever the collection has to do that's okay. I do the same thing. I don't have as many. I liked the vintage cookbooks for the graphics. I liked the vintage cookbooks to laugh at some of the Jell-O molds and, pig's feet in aspic and little meatballs and things. So notice if you love to collect vintage cookbooks, you know what? You can be a wonderful anachronism, I think is the word that's coming to mind. Okay. So you don't have to use them in order to enjoy them. Visibly seeing them, going out and finding them and then enjoying seeing them can be enough. Now, I actually have started to really, I'm in the part of decluttering where I am. Oh, this will be a funny one. You guys are going to love this because I have something here I'm going to mail to my sister. Okay. And, oh, Laura Voorhees, let me just interrupt. You are rocking it, lady, because she's noticing what she does and why she does it, and she's doing something different. She says, sometimes I put off taking the prescription migraine meds because I am running low. So she noticed that. So the feeling of lack gets her not using what she has for fear it's going to be empty. But then she realized, wait a minute, and she called for a refill. Okay. Now, I think this is great. I think this is really fun because Wendy is offering, I watch a YouTube channel of a guy that makes vintage recipe, Glenn and Friends. And if you love them all, and I was going to try to start 1 or 2 recipes a week to give my husband a break for cooking. So how fun is that? What a cool idea, Melissa. I would start with 1 recipe. You can only ever start with 1 thing. If that felt fun and you liked it, do it again. If it didn't, you did the 1. I did that for a while. I picked out some, and I actually crowdsourced some recipes from some friends to put in my cookbook, and I made a cookbook. It ended up being basically a PDF. I could have published it now, but regardless. But what a fun idea. So part of decluttering may be things that you have for a while or people gave you that they thought you would like, and you get them and you appreciate the thought, but then you're like, what do I do with this? So I am at a part right now where I am really curating my collections. So Melissa made me think of this with the cookbooks. There were some cookbooks that I bought and then I looked through them and I was like, okay, this was fun to collect it and I have it and I've looked through it. Do I think I want to look through it again in the future? Are there really any good recipes in this? Are there really any good graphics? And if there were, I might consider keeping it. But if not, I also culled things out of my collection and kind of threw them back into the cycle so somebody else could go find them. Somebody like Melissa could go find them, you know? And here's a fun thing. Just today, I was tying my sneakers, about to go for a walk, and I noticed that there's a thing that has some kitchen utensils in it. And I thought to myself, I never use those utensils. I'll have to ask my husband if he does, but I don't think he does either. I bet I feel okay now putting that crock back into circulation. I feel like I could do that if I wanted to. And that's a really cool feeling. Okay? Yeah. And I love it too. And Wendy is saying about the regifting, and I have a thing right here I'm going to show you. So you'll get a kick out of it. And so Wendy is saying, my son and daughter-in-law regift a lot of stuff. I praise them. Notice what you're doing. You encourage them. You say, yes, that's a good thing, to behavior you want them to repeat, for recognizing that the gift isn't a need or a want, and therefore it is not collecting dust in their home. Encourage yourself to do the things that will get you the house you want. Fewer items, less dust. Discourage yourself from doing the things that add to the dust and the clutter. And we do this with other people. Let's do it with ourselves. So I don't know if anybody here is of an age. Does anybody remember? I'll just do this. Dynamite magazine. Dynamite right here. Okay. So this one is from, interesting. This one is from, I'm trying to find the year, 1978. And this one is from 1980. Okay. So my sister, okay. So I thrifted one years ago, this Mork and Mindy one, and I've just had it in my house for people to see and do exactly what I did. Okay, so Dynamite magazine was something you got from the Scholastic Book Service. You know, like when you would, well, at least when I went to grade school, you could like order books and in school, and then you gave your teacher the money, and then they would come to the school. It was a thing. Yeah, like, or the book fair. Yeah. So it might depend on where you live. So my sister, I know she was being kind of snarky and laughing at me, and it's fine because I can laugh at myself too. My sister, within the past year, sent me this um, Dynamite magazine. All right. I don't know if anybody recognizes who that is. He kind of looks like my husband in real life, right? So this right here, my sister sent me this because she's like, haha, I thought you might want this. Okay. Sean Cassidy. Sean Cassidy. Very good, my Gen Xers. Okay. So she sent this to me because she saw it. It made her think of me. She bought it and mailed it to me, and we both laughed. All right. So, but then what do I do with it? It's fun. It's too good to throw away. Notice that phrase. It's too good to throw away. Just recently, only because I was moving some of the clutter from our hallway and sorting out some stuff and using the living room to sort some of our basement clutter because we're so close to getting stuff down the basement. He was my heartthrob circa 1978. Totally sixth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. Fifth grade was Monkeys. Fourth and fifth was Monkeys. Sixth grade was Sean Cassidy. Bee Gees were like about seventh grade, that type of thing. He was a Hardy boy. He was, yeah. So my sister gave me this. We had a laugh. We had a connection. And then literally, I've been blind to it for however long. It's been on a certain shelf that I only recently was made aware of it because I was moving a box and I saw it at the top. Well, she told me she is actually going to see Sean Cassidy like next week because she's not going to come visit me. She was going to come visit me. And so I said, oh, I have an idea. She has a friend who's going to like the VIP meet and greet. So I texted a picture to my sister and I said, I know you sent me this. However, do you think your friend would want this to go get it autographed during the meet and greet? And she finally got back to me today and she says, my friend would love it. So this right here is going in an envelope. So you can re-gift a gift to somebody who gave it to you if you do it in the right way and the person gets why you're doing it. Because she's going to re-gift it. She didn't want it herself. Yes. Yeah, Parker Stevens was the other one. Yes, and Pamela Sue Anderson, I believe, was the Nancy Drew to the Hardy Boys. He married Kirstie Alley. Yes, Parker Stevenson did. I offer this to you because you can get a gift, you can get a thing, and you can have it for a while, and you may not know what to do with it. And sometimes it will become readily apparent what a good idea it is to do it, you know? Oh, hey, I love Melissa. I love that you know where I got that. Oh, Pam Anderson. No, Pamela Sue Anderson, I think was her name. Yes, Pamela. Well, we can Google it. Yeah, she was the one on Dynasty, right? But yeah, I got that in St. Pete, and I saw that, and I said, you know what? And here's a great thing. This is really the destination we're going for is happiness. We may think it's decluttered, but decluttered helps you go to destination happiness. So thank you for getting that. Okay. So I just wanted to share with you a personal story of regifting something that you got. And I'm going to add that one of the more, because I have the Mork and Mindy one too, because my sister also sells vintage stuff. So I say she might have fun looking at this and then she can sell it to somebody because I don't need it. It was fun having it, but I'm good with also not having it. My life will not be adversely affected if I no longer have that in my life. Yeah. Now, I love this. I'm going back to some of these things. Pamela Sue Martin, thank you, not Anderson. Thank you, Wendy. All right, I sit corrected, as I think Laura Voorhees said the other day, which I loved. Yes. Thank you for Googling that or just remembering that when I didn't. So here's a really good thing. So Wendy is saying, oops, I backed up way too far. Let me try to get back to where I was. All right. No, we did that. Doodly dop. Boobly bop. All right. Regifting. And oh, there was something good. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Wendy says, my kiddos helped me on my declutter journey. They have some of their own. Now they go to church and dedicate 2 hours every Sunday to a space in their home to tackle, and I try to support. So we're all here to support each other with the journey towards decluttering. And sometimes it makes a massive difference in your house, as it did mine. This room used to be kind of the pitch and ditch room. I've shown pictures. I know I've shown pictures to people on part of the email group of what this room used to look like. And it was so cluttered with stuff that I kind of thought I loved, but it was too much and it didn't make me feel good. Now I love this. Barbara's saying, I'm going to finish the decluttering my desk before you finish this YouTube. Oh, yeah. I hope you do. I hope you win that race. You have 24 minutes. 1, 2, 3, go. Have fun. You don't need to race. There's not. If you don't make it, that's fine. Move forward at a pace that feels good for you, and you're moving forward. Yeah, this is the room that, like, when we would have our big Christmas parties, all of the clutter that we didn't know what to deal with, including like the totes and stuff from Christmas, would get pitched and ditched into this room and shut the door. So now it is always in a neat shelf. But also, let me point this out too, because this harkens back to what we were saying earlier about having patience and tolerance for clutter. So see over here in the corner here, I want to disconnect my computer. I've shown those boxes to you guys before because they've been there for like months. But here's the deal. The reason why those boxes right there do not truly affect my nervous system on the long term is because I know there's a plan for them, but I cannot start the plan yet because the space that they're going to is still under construction. Now, we are hoping it will be done on Monday, but it's not in my hands. So kind of in that sports motif metaphor of the ball is in their court, I can't do the work to finish that thing. So I have to be patient. And me being impatient just makes me aggravated, and it doesn't get the work done any sooner. So I can look at those things, and I can look at the stuff out in the hallway, and I say these words to myself. This is not the time, but when there's a time, I know that these things are going to move. I'm going to move these things. So I'm just waiting for that part of the process to be done. And therefore, I do not trigger myself into overwhelm. I might prompt myself into action by saying, hey, I should probably text the guy from the basement or get my husband to text him and see when he's planning on coming out over next week. Okay. So I offer to you, it always goes back, you guys. It always goes back to noticing that your feeling of a feeling, you can trace the steps. You can be like Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew to say, this is the feeling, but how did we get here? Let's retrace the steps and realize you walk up the stairs to this place that's full of words, and there was a sentence that happened up here. Somebody said something up here that caused this thing to feel a feeling. And the thing that was set up here is oftentimes a memory or a new sentence or a combination of the two. A memory is a story, and a story is made of words. Tomorrow with the decluttering party, Leslie is going to hear all sorts of stories in her head because she's going to be looking at photos of people. Oh, that's Aunt Rita. Oh, that's when Aunt Rita lived in Japan. Oh, wow, that's when we had that Christmas party over at so-and-so's house. I remember that. Those are all words. And those words can make you feel feelings. Oh, wow, yeah. Remember when we all went, we all went to that party? That was fun. That was fun. Or, oh, geez, that was right before so-and-so got sick. Notice all of those things. The only way I'm communicating these to you is because I'm using words, and words make us feel feelings. Words can encourage us, words can discourage us. I could feel like if I could do it effectively, I would do the Tom Tom Club wordly wrapping hood, but I can't. Words can make you feel feelings. Wendy's got to go. Wishing us all a Fab Friday, Fab Five Freddy. I'm going to have a Fab Friday. I hope you do too. And the weekend. Okay. I know I sound like a broken record. I know I keep on feeling like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. I don't care. Because every time I hear those words in my head, I have the feeling of this. I believe this to be true. I have the experience of this being true for me. These words have helped me. I feel the feeling like I want to help people. And before I take an action of saying them, within the speed of light, all that happens before I speak. I try to be very mindful prior to opening my mouth and saying words, because I know that when I'm not, I would say bad stuff can happen. That's the phrase I was using. But notice I paused and thought, is that really accurate? I am not being my best version of myself if I react versus taking a microsecond to respond and saying, is what I'm about to say going to help or is it going to hurt? Is what I'm about to say true? True is 3 is a magic number. Has this been true for me? Do I think this is going to help? If the answers are yes, I will share it. If not, maybe I notice what I'm saying and I write it down instead. What is my destination? Do I want to get the quick haha, or do I really want to change minds and hearts? So think about the words you use and be a lot more aware of them. And not just the ones that come out of here, but the ones that stay in here are the ones that really are driving your car. Those are the things you tell yourself that cause you to stay stuck in the driveway. Maybe you're in the driveway and you turn on the car and you're revving your engine, but you're not in gear. You're not taking action. You're not moving. There's a thought that's stopping you from moving. There's another thought that gets you to say, what the hell? Let me just try. Let me get out of this driveway. Let me try this. Let me experiment. It's so fun to discover how simple it can be. That, oh, it's just the words I'm telling myself that are making me feel crappy. Why don't I tell myself some other words then? Other words that are the opposite of the crappy words. Those will make me feel better. Experiment with it. Notice if it works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, come back to me. If you've done the work, it will work. If you don't do the work, it won't work. You can try to problem solve in your head, much like math. When you're learning something new, it's so much easier to do the work on paper so that you have practice. This is why I suggest writing stuff down, so that at some point you can do it without writing it down. But sometimes, no matter how old you are, you may still think more easily by writing down a math problem. It's the same thing with the words you tell yourself. Does this make sense? I hope so. If not, give me some questions so I can clarify what isn't making sense to you. Is this resonating? No, notice resonating. Is this? I hope it is. I am doing the best with the words I have in my vocabulary, in my experience, to communicate this concept to you. But I'm limited by my experience and my vocabulary. And you're limited by your experience and your vocabulary. I may say words you don't get. That's why I try to use the car metaphor. Your experience, you may think, oh no, that may have worked for you, but it won't work for me. Again, I say that's words from your backseat driver. So notice where you are starting to do the work that I suggest to you, the writing down of the stuff, because there's a whole few other steps past that. And what words in your head are stopping you from even trying to start? Words of fear, words from the back seat, words like, I'm afraid it's not going to work. I'm afraid to learn how much I talk bad to myself. I'm scared to realize that some of this clutter is my fault and I can't blame everybody else for some of the stuff, the mess I've created. I'm afraid to realize how much money I wasted on stuff when I could have spent the money on other things or saved it. I'm ashamed because everybody else is doing fine and I'm a fuck up. I'm embarrassed because clutter is something nasty and dirty and people judge me because I'm cluttered, because I judge other people in their clutter. Oh my gosh, I just discovered I am part of the problem here. And those things can sting. But you know what also stings? Is like when you have a cut and you have something that's going to help you clean up that wound so it doesn't fester and stay infected. The temporary sting of the astringent and the cleaner means that you've hit something that you can change. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna clean that out, and now I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna heal. So this is really the crux of it. And this is me talking in total. My if I had two hats, it would be my total life coach hat. But clutter affects your life. So that's why I am a decluttering life coach. What's the thing I use? Your clutter affects your mood and your mental health, your physical health, your personal relationships, how you spend your money, how you spend your time, how you spend your energy. All of that is like a pie chart of your life. Your mood, your mental health, your physical health, your personal relationships, how you spend your money, your time, your energy. Every single one of those adds up to your life. Clutter can affect every single one of those pieces of pie. So if you think clutter is just, I need a neat house, clutter can go deeper. Now, maybe you don't want to go deeper. That's totally up to you. I don't force anybody into coaching. But what I say, kind of like getting in deeper into the pool, I can be a pretty good swimming coach because I can teach you to float and dive and take a breath and come back up. And you can get out of the pool whenever you want. You can come back in. You can swim around over here. Sometimes you can go deep, but you can always, if you know how to dive deep, just think about it swimming wise. If you know how to dive deeply and go underneath for a while and have confidence that you know how to re-emerge, you can swim the entire pool. You can live your entire life. But if you are afraid to go deep because all you think of is deep means scared and drowning in death, then you're going to just be in this narrow portion of life called the kiddie pool, the shallow end. And you're missing all this other part of the swimming pool. But when you learn how to do this, you don't have to stay in the deep end. Oh my God, how many times am I talking about deep things and I riff on Sean Cassidy? It just means you have access to a deeper part of the whole experience of life known as the swimming pool. So that's what it's all about, Charlie Brown. I hope that helps. I feel like I just was standing on a soapbox, a little Brillo box, like an Andy Warhol Brillo box. And now I'm going to take a sip of my tea and I am going to take a breath, take a beat, and I'll turn it over to you in the newsroom. What's going on with you after I say all that? Take a moment. And how's it going? How's it going? It can be a lot. Let it absorb. Carry it around with you today. See what sticks. But just I offer to you, these are the words and thoughts and experiences that have revolutionized my life. Because that has happened and I want to help people, I am showing up differently for my family and better. I am showing up better for my clients. I am showing up happier. I am also leading by example with other people. This kind of thing can start a wonderful, dare I say, revolution, can disrupt that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Glad I got my body feeling better because I am putting finishing touches on getting ready for a trip to New York City this weekend. Yes. When you feel better, you will do better. Yeah. Tolerating all our different experiences, cluttered, not cluttered. We're all just trying to live life in peace and joy. We are. We are. And as long as we're not harming anybody else in the pursuit of that happiness, I'm cool with it. Now, Lady Bandit. Yeah. Yeah. Notice Lady Bandit now has 2 houses to declutter. It can be daunting at times. And yes, it can be. This morning was one of those days. Yeah. It's okay. But notice one of the things that's daunting about it is the quantity. So perhaps cut it in half. Spend some of your time in just one of those houses. And I'm thinking, and I'm just riffing here, I am thinking that with all the stuff going on with your mom and her house, perhaps your house might be a little bit unloved temporarily as you focus on other things. Take some time for yourself. Take some time for yourself, for your house. I have been delighted in puttering around my own house. Yeah, see, I thought so. I'm psychic that way. So take some time, and taking care of your environment is a form of self-care. Making sure things look good to you, things work well to you. I did the piddliest decluttering and puttering today. I took we have like an old electric stove. I took the burner, the bowls underneath the burners out. I noticed that they looked like hell. There was all sorts of food in them and looking nasty. I realized that the reason I didn't look at that any more closely was because I rarely do the cooking. I will put something in the microwave and walk around and do something else. My husband cooks. And so when I noticed they were looking gross, I said, I can do something about that. And so I started with just one. I chunked it down, the one that looked the worst. And I put it in the thing and I cleaned it. And when I put it back, it felt good, that it looked better than it did, that I did something to improve something that I looked at. And when I look at things that look good, it makes me feel good. And I also, what else did I clean out today? Oh, I solved why the pump from our dish soap wasn't working. And I felt good about problem solving that. So sometimes these little micro things, and I offer this to you, Lady Bandit, take care of yourself and do some little things for yourself today, physically and also environmentally, so you feel better and you feel less daunted. It will give you energy to then once again go into your mom's house and do the next part of this, the next step in the process, whatever it is. Okay. Yay. Oh my gosh. I love it. Yes. Have fun in New York City. Yeah. And here's the fun thing. Talk about a place on the planet that can make you feel overwhelmed because you're looking around at all the size skyscrapers. But if you focus down and look down, and you look down at where you are at the crossroads and the 2 signs, then you know where you are. And then you can walk towards those, going to see 2 shows and a Savannah Bananas game. That sounds like wicked fun. That sounds like fun. I hope you all have something fun planned for this weekend. I hope, back it up. I hope you all have something fun planned for today. Do I have something fun planned for today? Not specifically, but man, I can create fun in a minute. So I'm not worried about that. But I suggest to you, take a look at your schedule for the rest of the day. Some people have already got a scoot. Have a great time. Happy weekend. Glad to be here for you. Look at you between now. It's what? 11. It's only 11:56. Okay, cool. 4 minutes till noon. You still got a whole bunch of hours today. If you don't have something on your schedule that is highlighted in the color of fun, take a moment and no matter how small, think about something you could do today that would make you feel good. And if you're like me, it may be something like, yay, I am going to go buy some new dish soap because it was the soap that I had that was jamming up the thing. I'm going to be psyched about getting that fixed. So every time I use that pump, it works the way I want it to. You know, there we go. Melissa Garvey says, I am putting things in categories. Love it. Yep. Yes, Melissa, you are on the right track. You are so on the right road. She says, I am putting things in categories with the idea that I will reduce the volume as a next chunk. It is definitely a two-step. It is. It's so much easier to create the categories because those categories are now a chunk. And then within that category is where you say, what's my quality and quantity? Much like Leslie's going to do on our decluttering party tomorrow, she will have a category of photos of just my face, let's say, photos of just Leslie. And she will decide which ones she wants to keep and which ones she wants to throw away. But it can get easily overwhelmed when you're looking at all the photos all at the same time. So chunking it down is going to be really helpful. Also, when you're going through photos, I will just reiterate this to you. Anybody going through photos, family photos, even if it's not family, friends, write down on the back of them when it was taken, if you know the year, the decade, the people, any details so that you don't have to worry about forgetting. And you can, if somebody else comes across your photos, they will know who they are. That's the real bummer about being the family genealogist, is the people who didn't do that decades before. So people get lost to history because they didn't write down their stories. They didn't take the time. Do this for yourself. Start right now. And seriously, this is going to sound dark, but if you're going through photos and you find photos of yourself, I've already started this. I've started a folder of photos of me for my funeral. I don't want them to pick crappy photos of me. I want to look good when they do the slideshow. So start creating that now. And then you're doing something good for yourself and you're helping the people that are going to be grieving your passing. And, that's just a thing. All right. Now, I am totally running out of steam. I will share with you. I'm trying to work on my posture and I've been wearing this posture bra. One of the things I'm going to do momentarily, as soon as we sign off, is I'm going to get my physical body more comfortable by changing into a regular old, what was it? Jane, I was like Jane Mansfield. Who is that one? The 24-hour lifts and separates. But I digress. I'll figure it out. Okay. You guys, it's been wicked fun hanging out with you. Remember, I will send an email to the email group if you're not on it, destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up to get in the email group. Email goes out this afternoon with some reminders on it. The secret page is always the place to go to look for updates. Tomorrow is a declutter party. Monday is a declutter party. The following Monday is a declutter party. And then it's going to be October before you know it. Okay. Yay. Barbara's desk is much better than it was 24 minutes ago. Rock on, Barbara. Barbara. In Massachusetts, there's no in Barbara's. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Bye.